Between the time when the oceans drank Atlantis and the rise of the sons of Ares, there was an accursed land undreamed of, and hither unto this land were exiled many unfortunate souls. I am one of them, and my name is Subutai. It was a hulking Cimmerian that would walk out of the desert to cut me down from where I was crucified. Who he was, I do not know, yet his eyes bore the weight of some great destiny yet unfound. I have not seen him since that day, though I do believe I will hear word of his great deeds. After he cut me down, quenching the thirst that the desert had caused was foremost on my mind, and I began the long trek to a valley where a hint of green could be barely seen. Thankfully, it was not a mirage, and soon my feet were wet as I stood at the base of a river that filled the entire valley. No sooner had I got there, men started to charge at me along the sand. I was startled, for I carried nothing of worth on me, except for this bracelet that the priest had put on my arm before hanging me to be crucified. But the pharaoh look in their eye darkly hinted at something else they wanted from me. I did not give them a chance, and I began to run quickly away in the opposite direction. Some would call this fleeing. I call it survival. Only when I heard them not giving chase anymore did I slow my pace and peer behind me. They were stopped on the beach 100 yards behind me. Then they were pointing in my direction, laughing. I looked about me and wondered what it was that was so comical. That was when I saw the large turtle-like creature jumping towards me. It was my apparent fate to be dinner for this monstrosity that they were laughing at. I clumsily rolled to the side, and it landed where I had stood, spraying sand everywhere. I had a moment to consider what to do next as it turned towards me. The river seemed my best option, and so I dove into it. Thankfully, it was not a fast swimmer due to its size, and I managed to swim away. I swam for some time, and when my arms started to tire, I only then started to head towards a beach. No sooner had I stood on dry land, when suddenly a crocodile came out of a bush towards me. Once again, I used my legs and sprinted further west into the valley. As crocodiles do not make as much noise as men, I slowed my pace once more to look behind me. It was still there, following me tenaciously. So I turned off the beach and ran towards a sloped cliffside, scrambling up it to finally stand on top of a plateau. I looked down and the crocodile was nowhere to be seen. I only walked a few paces away, wondering to myself where the crocodile had went, when suddenly from behind me I heard a large growl. My instinct took over and I found myself running. It really seemed the best idea anyway. From their yipping I could tell that they were hyenas, but I could not tell how many there were. When I came to the edge of the plateau, I did not stop, but rather decided to jump off of it into the rivers below. And so it continued for much of the day, fleeing the fate of being dinner for creature or cannibal. I can only imagine the gods laughing with much mirth as they watched this lone figure run screaming through the valley so. But finally I would have my respite. Underneath the ruins of a bridge, behind a massive pillar, I would build my first fire and camp. This would become my first home. This would become the land of the sun dogs, if cannibals do not eat us all. But that is another story.